Hi guys, so in case you're wondering, like last time I felt like the abstraction was explained a bit, but if you guys need more help, this is going to act as the abstraction reference guide. So if you need more information about every one of the functions that are inside the project, I'm going to go over every single one of these functions and explain a little bit more in depth what every single one of these does. So this is the utilities files, as you may see. And the top you don't really have to worry about. This is just importing different libraries that we need to use. But here we'll start just going over quickly what each one of these does. So get key press. It says here utility function that gets which key was pressed and translated into a character value. So what that means is you get some sort of key press and like for example you press like H, J, K, blah blah, and it turns it into its ASCII value. So this might be useful when you need to do something where you need to get a key press if it's like some value and find out if it's like T, Y, U, whatever. And then it will help you like see which key it is. Clear helps to clear the terminal's GUI screen. So for example, if I open up a terminal and you have some stuff here, you can write some stuff like that's clear. So for example, that clears my terminal screen, but this is not the exact same function. But for example, if you're doing 2048 and you had a bunch of 2048 boards here, clear would immediately clear all of them and clear your screen for you. So it kind of does exactly what it says it would do. So next is pause. Pause will just pause for the given amount of time. So it will wait like 2 seconds or whatever you put into as the function argument for seconds. So for this parameter. Make board, as I explained earlier, makes a board n by n empty board. So nothing will be in any of the spaces. And as it says here, the empty spaces will be represented by star. So there'll be no pieces on the board. The board dimensions must be greater than or equal to 1. That's because if your board is too small, I mean if it's 0 by 0, you essentially have no board. So this helps to make a board. Print board, as you can see, there's a bunch of colors. And then down here you have a bunch of parts printing the different colors. So what this does is it just prints out the state of the board. So if you have like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, etc., 64, 20, 48, whatever you have on the board, wherever the pieces are, it's going to print it out in different colors and just print out the board so that you can actually see what it looks like. The colors make it, I guess, nicer to look at and easier to like parse what's going on. And then board full. So this returns true if the given board is full and false otherwise. So if the board is full, that means all the pieces are filled out. Then it'll return true, and if it's not, it'll return false. So I'll mention this now, but if you guys haven't noticed yet, argument refers to this, and it just tells you what that argument should be. So this board is some board, the board you want to check, and that just helps it make it easier to like understand exactly what you want to put into this function. Like you don't want to put like some string or like some integer into here like, oh, board full of 4. Like that's not going to help because as you see here, it's iterating through 2 lists. And it would not give you what you want. Move possible. So this, given a position, will return true if a move is possible at the XY position, false otherwise. So what that means is if we have an x coordinate and a y coordinate and we get some board, then we can check whether or not that move is possible. So that does exactly what you think it does. So you give it an x and y coordinate, and then once you give it the board, it will check within the board if some move is possible at that xy position, and if it isn't possible, then it will return false. And finally, move. XY direction board. So this will just move the piece from XY to the given direction and then on the board. So you take an XY coordinate and then you take in some direction, left, right, up, down, and then you give it a board, and then it'll move wherever that direction is. And if it's possible, it's going to return true. If it doesn't work, it's going to return false. And you can see that because it says returns whether an action was actually executed or not. So if it's not executed, then it obviously wasn't possible, so it's false. And that's the end of all the utilities. There's some more stuff here if you want to look at it. This has to do with creating the GUI. So you can see like here it is a bit complex, but it basically uses the creates a GUI so it's easier for you guys to play it and make it more interesting than just like the command line. So that'll be fun. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the utilities. And you guys have any more questions, feel free, like more implementation questions, feel free to ask on Piazza, ask your TA. They might be able to help you. Definitely on Piazza, we'll be able to answer those questions. And then you can ask very specific questions like, oh, what if adjacent 0 equals none? What does that mean? If you're more interested in implementations, and we'll be able to answer those questions for you. So thanks, guys.